So John Highams PBs 45.700, 115.2 to 600, which is the Australian record, and 145.6, which is also an Australian record. Open record. National champion for 800, 1977, 78, 79, and he won the double in 78. He won the 400 and 800 double, running 45.9 and 146 flat. Pretty good weekend's work, I would say. And then Peter Bourke, 144.78 and 336.17, 1500. National champion 1980, 82, and 84. 82, he won nationals in 144.78, which is the fastest time run by an Australian in Australia, leading all the way in the rain, 2, 3, 4 splits. So very, very good. And I think between the four guys and Luke Matthews, who's in the UK, we've won 9 national 800 titles and 22 national medals over 400, 800. Quite amazing the amount of medals these guys won. So, without embarrassing you, what year did you graduate from here?
The year that I won 1969.
1976. 1976. So were you guys in school at the same time?
John was responsible for me going to make France Stanford. And so I'm forever grateful for him saying I needed a coach. I had a coach at school until John Laidlaw, but I needed to go further. Franz had the record, but of course we're off the bill. John's guidance is in the coach. So I've got to thank him for this.
There's quite a connection because John, you were coached by Franz, and then Peter was coached by Franz, and then later you moved on to Matt Patterson.
Graham
coaching. Matt Patterson. Yep. And then Simon Lund was also coached by Matt Patterson. So quite a bit of connection between you three. Now, the only difference between you and the other 4 champions is that you were the only one not to win a junior title. So can you explain to these guys here what kind of high school athletes you were, and then what was the difference between when you left high school and then became a senior runner?
Well, when I was a junior, I actually wasn't aware that it was junior athletics. I only knew about schoolboy athletics. I wasn't even aware that it existed. But I was a very poor schoolboy athlete anyway. I did represent the school in the public school sports, but I actually didn't even make the final. I won the 2nd division of public school sports. Admittedly, I did have pneumonia, but that's just a small variable. So. But
yeah,
actually, because I was very young, I did run 2 minutes 0.6. My father and I realised that actually I was running extremely well. And my father and I really believed that I could improve, and so after I left school, I commenced training very hard, and I did improve.
Peter, you won a junior title in 1977, the same year that John won his first senior title over 800. Can you explain the difference between your transition from the junior athlete through the senior ranks?
It was very hard. My nemesis in school was a gentleman here tonight, Rod Khan. I'd always followed in Rod's footsteps. And then I came back in '76 specifically only to get the 8 years record. And did that at the time, got down to 152.6. And when you see great talent now, and Luke Matthews, of course, the other band there now as well, it pales in this significance. Left school at 152.6. 6 months later, I won the juniors down in Hobart. John won the seniors at 151.6. And just with a hard perseverance and trying to sing to France, I sort of came down to 144.78. I learned to question early on, never to question France's trainer, because he said one night, go out and run 2200s. I said, what? He said, you go out and run 30. I said, you've got to be fucking joking. He said, make it 40, so I just went out. I was one of these guys that had to learn the hard way. So I started off, but with Rod and of course with John's involved as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the training of different frames, because it's heavily interval based, as you said, 30, 40s, 200s, 100, 100s, 28 or 10 800s, 2400s. So just tell me a bit about that and what it took to get through those training sessions. And If you had your way again, would you do the same training, or would you change something about that?
I have to be very careful here because of the laws of defamation. I have certain views about France and his training which I will not wish to repeat in public. Yeah, we train incredibly hard, both with France and with the coaches I had after France. Ludicrously hard. I'd run 10k in the morning in 33 minutes. In the afternoon we'd run 10 quarters in 55 to 60 with jogger lap recovery. It was crazy. We knew nothing then about immunosuppression. We didn't know that if you trained that hard, it boosts your capacity to fight infections. I believe that I had what I call it the purgatorial approach to training. I believe that the harder I trained, the greater would be my reward. Or as the Catholics say, the more good you are, the higher will be your place in heaven. Unfortunately, the human body doesn't work like that. And we are, I'm sure Peter's limping around now, we grossly overtrain. They know a lot more about physiology now than they did then. And I just wish I was running now and had the benefit of the wisdom of the current coaches.
The situation was I did what I was told, and as you can see I'm a bigger build than John and to Alex and obviously to Luke Matthews. For me, I might have run 100 miles a week, but the first 85 was kept the weight down. So I think I did pretty well doing 15 miles a week training. So the situation was that I agree with John. I'm probably paying the price for it now, but then I've got to think about the successes I've had along the way. And would I swap it? People said to me, why didn't you ever do weights? He said, by the time you get off the track at night at 4 to 7, you would go to a weight room at 7 o'clock for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then get some training and trainer. I thought, something's got to give here because I needed to go to bed to sleep because you've got to start all this process again. And that happened 7 days a week. So I don't have any regrets. Yeah, I'm hopping around now, but that's probably my own fault as well. So yeah, there would be some things that I could modify now, but unfortunately we can't turn back the clock.
I just want to ask you about probably your fondest memories and your biggest regret. So I know that you were selected for the 1980 Olympic team and you chose not to participate. So I'm not sure if that's one of your biggest regrets. I'm not going to lead you into the answer. But just talk about your fondest memory in athletics and what's your biggest regret in athletics as well.
Well, I'm constantly asked about the boycott of the Moscow Olympics, and my singular, strongest feeling about that is actually one of embarrassment. Trying to explain to people why I chose not to go to the Olympics because the Russians had invaded Afghanistan is not something I enjoy having to do. But I don't regret that decision. I still believe that I did the right thing. One of my fondest memories is actually a rather minor thing. I ran 45.6 against Rick Mitchell over 400 metres in the Victorian Championships, and we crossed the line together. Some people thought I won, the judges thought he won, so they gave him 45.6 and they gave me 45.7 because both times had broken the Australian record. Now the reason I'm particularly happy with that was because I didn't regard myself as a quarter miler or 400 metres runner, so for me to go out and break the Australian record was quite amazing to me. I still could picture that race. I could picture, we ended the straight. Rick was about 4 or 5 metres up on me. I began to close on him. It was as though something had possessed my body from outside. I tried to relax. I could hear, it was night time, I could hear the crowd going, ooh. So just slowly, I just couldn't believe it. My other favourite memory and also great disappointment was I won the national titles in the 400 and the 800. In 78, was it? This boy knows more about than I do. I'm the only Australian male athlete to win both the national 400 and 800 metre titles. And I'm not just talking about at the same nationals, at different nationals. No other 400 runner has won the 800 and no other 800 runner has won the 400. So I'm particularly proud of that, but I also regret it. because I was in superlative form. I had no idea what form I was in. What did I run for the 8?
146.
I ran 146 flat for the 8, and I was saving myself for the 400. I really feel I could have run under 145 or that day, or even better. So I wish now I hadn't tried to win both titles. I wish I'd given my heart and soul to the 800. So one of my proudest moments is also, in my view now, one of my most stupid.
Obviously, in my situation, probably of course the Commonwealth Gold is a special place in Australian sport. I mean, obviously the Mecca, of course, is what we're about to experience with the Olympic Games. But I can remember coming into the final, or the heats and the semis, and obviously Steve Cram was opted for the 1500. Steve O'Bed had placed his foot through a picket in England about 4 months beforehand. He couldn't come. As to why Sebastian Coe couldn't come, I honestly don't know. So the greatest threat for me at that time was a guy called Gary Bourke. And obviously the ultimate respect for the Kenyans. One guy there was James Maina, boy who hadn't been beaten in 43 starts. And I'm thinking, well, he hasn't been beaten for... So, yeah. And then obviously the other two Kenyans, Sammy Koski and Jumani, well, I think they're still all-time top 10. So obviously I run the first semi, and then next semi-final, obviously you're going to stick around to see how it's going. And next minute Gary Cook falls over. All of a sudden I'm thrust to be in the favourite for the gold medal. It's just going to go down in real well. So, but just wanted to relax on the day, get to the line. Just beforehand, I just said to myself, I'm not going to waste 6 years. I've trained 6 years to get here, and there's no way I know anyone's going to beat. And especially with 400 to go, there was a Scotsman, Paul, I can't remember him now. With 250 go, I said, see you later, I'm on my bike. And obviously conscious and full respect for 3 Kenyans, and of course John Walker, and of course there's a young Brett Crew from Australia at the time, because anything can happen in a major championship. And yeah, and it's a surprise, I still think about it now, but hearing John's stories about the Olympic Games as well, you have some regrets along the way as well, but obviously the Commonwealth is obviously pretty good.
We have some of the current athletes in St Kevin's here on the table in the back there. What advice would you give them as if you're in their position and you're a young whippersnapper again? What would you say to them? What should they do over the next few years?
Well, I think what I'm about to say won't be unexpected given what I previously said. That is, don't overtrain. Listen to your coaches. If your coach tells you to run the quarters in 60, run them in 60, not 52. If your coach tells you to take the day off, take the day off. Get yourself a good coach. Get yourself a coach who knows physiology, understands the way the body works, and do what you're told.
A bit scared now, skinny man to go there. Much the same, but I think also where it helped me a lot of the time, especially 81, 82, I got PBs on either side of my events, so I wasn't just one dimensional in a lot of ways. It wasn't the same magnitude as John at the 45, so I think it was good to have that situation. But I could run a 400 in a club and a 1500 in a club. But usually the club was training, it's a lot of way to sharpen up. And focus. I think it also get the balance in your life. I see a lot of people, so intense and Kyle, I see you here and you've been a champion hurdler in your own right, and some people just get so engrossed in the sport. I go to training, I do everything fine, but I wanted to go to footy on the weekend, and I think that was a good outlet for me, and just do something other than just track and field. And I see guys like Alex here now, they're doing well in their studies, and I think that helps along the way to prepare you for your athletic life. So get the balance right.
Alright, so just give John and Peter a round of applause, and we'll have Alex.